lands at the head office in Chicago. Suddenly he spots some McDonald's. Very excited, I must go for breakfast here, something familiar. He walks up to McDonald's and says, in a very clear tone, "Can I have chicken sandwich with cheese?" Back comes a query from the other side, from the young boy. Here to go. This person is completely perplexed, a little humiliated. He says, "I will have it here first and then go." So again, the boy just smiled and said, "Oh, you want two sandwiches, one to have here and one to go." So welcome to cross-cultural communication. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I commend you, just a few of you, but I really commend you for attending this session because today's global scenario, the topic under discussion here is extremely universal. Boundaries are shrinking, breaking down. People are working across cities, regions, countries towards a common goal. The geographical expanse of work and life is really vast. Cross-culture, therefore, is an absolute reality. There is, no two thoughts about it. People who live and work here, people who live and work outside, like Vandana, who just said, people who travel frequently, people who do not travel at all of them somehow experience cultural exchange and interchange in some form or the other. People who are living abroad, Vandana has talked about at length, have to quickly learn to mingle with the culture if they want to flourish and thrive, to understand the culture. But people who are living and working here also send emails, are on mobile phones, are on conference calls with their counterparts, co-workers, bosses and clients from all over the world. People who travel frequently, for them cross-cultural communication starts the minute they jump into their flight, depending upon which airways they're taking. But people who do not travel have enough of it in terms of visitors, tourists, businessmen, political leaders. There is no scale. And this is something which we cannot overlook, cross-cultural communication. In my case, my personal life, my two sons work in the east and west coast of USA. My professional life, an important part of which is to profile people who want to study in the top-end universities of USA, Europe, UK, Hong Kong, and Singapore. And every time I have to keep in mind the cultural acceptance of my client. We enjoy traveling, so every time we travel, in order to make our visit enjoyable, we have to understand the culture of the place where we are traveling. Last but not the least, now WEF. This is an extremely multicultural forum. It hosts conferences here where people come from all over the world. It hosts conferences in foreign lands where we attend. I just attended a conference at Albuquerque, New Mexico in USA, and what a medley it was of cultural mix. There were Americans of different ethnic backgrounds, there were Australians, people from Africa, people from Asia. It was mind-blowing. Now, once we have recognized that there is no scale from cross-culture communication and exchange, we have to accept cultural differences. Vandana has given you several examples of this. We must accept that people are different, but we need to understand and respect the differences. After having accepted, the next step I would like to suggest is understand. Understand different cultures. Now, it's not going to have spank of a finger. You need to invest time and energy into it, but it will happen. If you have the will, it's going to happen. I would like to give a few examples. There could be differences in attitudes, aptitudes, gestures, usage of words, context of words, I mean, the list is endless. But yet you need to understand. Examples also, all coming from my experience in my life, but I would like to give a few so that you really understand what the differences are. People in our country work in a lot of multinationals, but they're always wary of giving unpleasant or bad news. I was talking to a gentleman from a corporate sector in the US, and he said, my colleague in India will just send an email saying, the consignment will be dispatched on 26th. I will round it off in my calendar and relax. Comes 22nd, and there is a festival, there is Diwali, there is Ganpati, there are workers' strike, there is epidemics, and it's not going to happen. Yet I'll get no information. The person will say, let me keep trying. It may just happen. And on 26th, I get a mail that due to unavoidable circumstances, the consignment could not leave. We are frustrated. We would rather know the problem and then work around it. But we are always wary of doing this. Westerners and Japanese sitting across the table in a meeting come out, the Western group comes out very, very disappointed. I don't think these people are interested because they were not even looking up. They were just looking down. 2 days later, when the mail comes, they realize that the Japanese group had noted everything and responded to each of their points. It is just cultural. They don't look straight into the eyes. They consider it rude to look directly into the eyes, so they look down. Then there is a whole thing about punctuality and meeting deadlines. We are improving, and WEF is an exception. But by and large, deadlines don't mean much to us very often. We get a card, arrival of Bharat, 8 o'clock. And at 10:30, people are still dancing on the road. So, I mean, my students who go abroad, in the first few months, miss every possible deadline. The professor tells them the deadline is Wednesday, 9 a.m. They say, 9 a.m., okay, I'll send it at 9:05. I'll send it at 9:15. He gets the assignment back saying, your work was sent late, it will not be marked. So meeting deadlines, and you can match your clock in some of the Western countries, whether it's a social visit, whether it's a professional meeting. If there is a conference call at 10:30, people log in at 10:29 and log out at 10:32. Whereas we are still adjusting our laptops at 10:30, ho jayega, abhi 10:30 to ho hi raha hai. So that is something which we need to change. Similarly, one or two contexts of usage of words, bathroom, toilet, restrooms, these are used differently in different cultures. And we need to understand, this is just one of the words. I myself have faced huge problem in my first visit several years ago to the US, but I kept thinking restroom is meant for some sort of a rest. And I just wouldn't go into them till I opened the door and said, oh, this is exactly what I need, at the airport. Similarly, a young student who was given an opportunity to teach English at Czechoslovakia was very excited. He lands there, the professor says, okay, we have a 2-hour drive before we reach the university. And he says, okay, could you please stop at a bathroom in the middle? He said, yeah, I will. 1 hour later, he stops at a petrol pump, comes with a can of Coke. I'm sorry, I haven't got the place. Can you refresh yourself with this Coke? And the person is completely shaken because he's not in a condition to have any more liquids. But he said, at this petrol pump, we